Hello, my name is Diamond, aka Lady Leo. Welcome. I am doing something that I have wanted to do forever, which is to show my full nail polish collection. Yeah, I haven't done it because I didn't really know how I wanted to film it. I have my nail polish split in a couple places. Most of it's on the wall, which I'm going to show you right now. Do some panning shots there, and then I have a section over there too. So I keep most of it on the wall, and then I keep some in drawers. Ideally, I was waiting till somewhere later on down the line where I got like a house and I could get some professional shelving made. Realistically, I ain't got house money, and I ain't gonna have house money for a while. So I did just want to show some love, show you my nail polish collection. I'll show you where everything is on the shelf, talk about it a little bit, and we'll get started. Okay, so I actually couldn't decide how I wanted to film my nail polish collection. I have a lot of it, and my main camera is very, very heavy, so I didn't want to use my main camera. I have a vlog camera, which I haven't actually used for vlogging. Well, I mean, I have made videos, I just haven't uploaded them. It comes a little grainy. I have an action camera, which is not really designed to film. I did film everything with an action camera, but realistically, it just was a little too choppy, it was a little too close, and I also didn't have it well lit. So I am refilming this, and I really like the wide angle of filming it with my cell phone, so I'm just going to be using my cell phone for this, and I don't really think you'll be able to tell the difference when I get it uploaded and edited. So we're going to start with my top and base coats. So I did some spring cleaning last week, and I totally cleaned off my coffee table, but I also revamped my top and base coats. So this was originally 3 levels, but when I bought it, like the 3rd level never had all the pegs. So it only had like 2 pegs to support the top. So I would always have to balance out the nail polish on top just to kind of make it work. So I really figured when I did some spring cleaning of this table, I would go through all of my top and base coats, get rid of any that weren't gummy, and I just decided to do away with that top level, which was never, proper anyway. So that being said, I revamped this. It looks really good. I cleaned it. All of my base coats are on the bottom, and they're all separated out by brand. So there's different types of base coats, but some of these are quick dries. They're just separated out by brand. Some of them are smoothing. And then all of my top coats are on the top. And I also have them separated out by brand as well. I personally really like to keep my top and base coats separate. That way, I don't have to go to a specific brand to think about what top and base coat I want. I just have them all in one place. All right, moving on. Okay, we're going to be starting with the top row. So this row right here. Let's move in a little closer so we can see the polishes up there. All right, so on our very top row, we have BCB Lacquer. Now, I don't have a lot of this brand because they're a little bit more of a smaller indie brand. Right after BCB Lacquer is Painted Polish. You can see I have quite a bit, so I have Painted Polish starting there. It goes down to this row, the very next row, and most of the next row as well. Painted Polish does a lot of different types of polishes. I'd say the only thing I've never seen them make is a creme, but they do effects polishes, they do glitters, they do, well, maybe not multi-chromes. I don't think I've ever seen them do multi-chromes. If I'm being biased, my favorite formula is their reflective glitter formula. I have tons of their reflective glitter formula. Actually, I think I just picked one that wasn't reflective glitter, but this one is definitely reflective glitter. They have like a whole rainbow reflective glitter collection that I absolutely love. So I'll zoom you out a little bit so you can see Painted Polish. And that is all Painted Polish. All right, we're moving on to the next one right after Painted Polish. After Painted Polish, we have Picture Polish, which starts right here. So this is an Australian-based brand. They also make gels too. So like if you're into gels, they have like, I think it's like a curable gel. I personally don't really like gels. That's just my own personal aesthetic, but they sell them. Their bottles are definitely a little bit on the smaller side, which is not a bad thing. It's just an observation. So I like to store them to the side. You can't see the brand, but you definitely get maximum efficiency. And I'm pretty familiar with brands, so I kind of know what brand this is just by looking at it. So this is Picture Polish. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. So Picture Polish starts here, it goes here, and it picks up at the top, so I will meet you at the top. All right, and there's the conclusion of picture polish right there. So I'd say they take up about 2 rows altogether. Next up we have pop polish. So I'll pick a bottle so you can see. This is pop polish, which stands for pop and polished. I really love Pop Polish's bottle sizes. It's pretty hard to be unique as a bottle sometimes with nail polish, and I love that their bottles are really unique. I tend to store them to the side. It is the most efficient use of space with this type of bottle. You can't see the logo, but the bottle is very distinct, so I know which brand it is. So this is all Pop Polish. All right, picking up with the next section. Next section starts right here, and this is Enchanted Polish. I really love this brand. I miss this brand. You won't be able to buy from them anymore unless you're just buying from like somebody who has them. They went out of business a few years ago. They're definitely a small indie brand, but they make all sorts of stuff. Or I should say they used to make all sorts of stuff, but you have some creme, although I would say most of what I have from them is effects polishes. So you've got some hollows. They did a dark rainbow collection in here too. So I have the dark rainbow. I have some glitters from them. I have some toppers. I really miss them, but I don't think they'll come back. I think they got rid of their Instagram channel after a while as well. So this is all Enchanted Polish. All right, we're picking up with the next section, which is sweet and sour lacquer. So I don't remember how I got into sweet and sour lacquer. It could have been through like Polish Pickup or Hella Handmade Creations. A lot of the smaller indie brands, they do polishes for those. And if you're not familiar, like Polish Pickup is basically like a monthly thing. They have a theme and you can buy from them like once a month. So it's a little fun thing. It's a great way to get exposed to like different indie brands. But I am a fan. These are a couple full collections. Like this is a summer collection. This is like a pastel summer collection, but they also have some really good shimmers in here and some flakies too. And Polish Pickup picks up at the top, so I will meet you over there. And sorry, correction, I think I said Polish Pickup, but I meant Sweet and Sour picks up at the top. So like that's the rest of Sweet and Sour. So just to zoom out so you can see, Sweet and Sour starts here, it goes through this whole row, and then it picks up at the top. Next up we have blush lacquers. So something I didn't mention as well is how I typically store my polish. So most of the time what I like to do, which you can kind of see with blush, oops, I meant to zoom the other way, is I usually start with the cremes. I go from light to dark, and then I start with the effects polishes, and I do the same thing. I just really like the way that looks aesthetically, and that's typically how I break out each polish. So I separate it out by brand, and then I do cremes and then effects polishes, and I always go from light to dark. I really like the way that looks. So this brand right here is Blush Lacquers. So this brand right here is Blush Lacquers. I think their bottles are pretty similar to Picture Polish, but they're a little bit bigger and they have a little bit of a longer brush. If I'm not mistaken, this is a brand owned by women and women of color. I have a fun time with this brand. I would say in like the overall span of like nail polish, they are a more of an indie brand, but they do have a lot of good SKUs, and they're one of those brands that, sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. I'll cut that part out. So this is what the bottles look like for Blush Lacquer. This is a brand owned by women and women of color, if I'm not mistaken. They have their own website too, so you should definitely give them a, check them out if you're interested. Moving on to the next one. So starting here, we have Starly. I'm a huge fan of Starly, as you'll see. I'm pretty sure I got into Starly from Kelly Marissa. She usually does a lot of collabs. She does collabs with Orly, but Starly too. So there's definitely some of her shades in here. Let me see if I can pull out one. I'm trying to think. I know, I'm trying to see if I can find one of hers off the bat. Nope. I know she has one of these Diamond Rain. Is this one her? Okay, this one's her. Okay, so this one is a Kelly Marissa shade. Diamond Rain. Hey, that's my name. But she has a lot of really great shades in here. So any collab she does with Starly, I really like. I also like their bottles. These are big bottles, and they do toppers, they do cremes, they do effects polishes. They tend to have a lot of fun stuff on their brand. So they do a lot of fun stuff. They have a lot of fun different colors and things like that. So clearly I'm a huge fan of Starly. So Starly starts here, goes from this row, and then it goes to the top. I will meet you up there. All right, picking up with Starly at the top, here is the rest of Starly, and it ends there. I leave a little bit of a blank space. I try to leave blank space from the brands that I buy from the most. I don't buy from Starly a ton, but if I did, I still got a little bit of space here. Going down to the next shelf. So this is a indie brand called Bee's Knees Lacquer. I feel like I got into them because maybe they had like a polish in like Polish Pickup or Hella Handmade Creations, but I really do like this brand. So sometimes with the smaller indie brands, they don't keep everything like all the time, which I kind of like because it almost feels bespoke, you know what I mean? Like if they don't sell this particular color anymore, I kind of like that aspect of it. So for Bee's Knees Lacquer, I think this is sort of their main bottle size, and this was like maybe one of their older bottles. If I'm being honest, I like these bottles more. I think they're a little bit more dynamic than something like this, which is a little bit more standard, but that's just, I mean, it's just a personal thing. So this is Bee's Knees Lacquer, down to the next row, and down to the next. If I had to pick my favorite, let me see if I can find it. It's like a green. It's really, really pretty. Where is it? I know, oh, here it is. I absolutely love this one. It's one of my favorite colors from Bee's Knees Lacquer. It's so dynamic when you see it on too. Okay, so that was all of the polishes on the very top row. So that whole row we did. We're moving on to this row right here. Let's get in a little closer. All right, starting off right here, we have KB Shimmer. You know what I really like about KB Shimmer is in terms of the scale of nail polish, they're on the least expensive scale. Like to me, after you get past like the drugstore and Walmart, nail polish is anywhere between like $10 to $20 a bottle, with most brands being like in the $12 to $14 a bottle range. KB Shimmer is at the $10 range, so they're pretty affordable. They also have a huge SKU. What I mean by that is that they have a huge nail polish library. So like if you've never heard of them, you want to get into them, they have a lot of different polishes for you to like go through. And they have cremes, they have effects polishes, they have glitters, there's some flakies in here. You know, this one here is one of my favorites. I used it when I did my Bridgerton nail art. Did I use this one? No, I didn't. Sorry, I used another one, but it looks similar to this one. So there's lots of different fun things in here, and they launch a few times a year. I wish I could keep track of all of the brands and when they launch. It's just not possible, but I have seen them launch a couple times a year, and I usually pick up a few things from them. So these are all KB Shimmer, which stops right here. All right, moving on to one of my favorite brands right here, Holo Taco. So I've been a fan of Holo Taco from the beginning. If you're not familiar, Holo Taco is a brand that it was started by the YouTuber Christine, and come July of this year, it'll be 5 years since Holo Taco has been out. So I can't believe it's been 5 years already. It seems like just yesterday she was starting her own nail polish brand. So Christine is from the YouTube channel Simply Nailogical. That's her, excuse me, that's her main channel handle. So I am a huge fan of this brand. As you can see, this and all of that is Holo Taco, which I'll zoom out a little bit for you. The thing that's really great about this brand is they have some of everything, but they started off with the toppers, which are over here. So typically I go cremes and then effects polishes, but because this brand has so many toppers, after the cremes, I have a section for all of the toppers. And they have so many different ones. So they have like unicorn skins, and then the one that I showed you before, this one is Halogen Glow. It's like a shimmer topper. It's really, really pretty. So yeah, they have a ton of really awesome stuff. They just launched a new collection last week too, the Rock Candy collection. I should be getting that today. I don't know if I'm going to feel up to doing a review on that this week. I might get to it next week or the week after that, but it'll at least be, 1 or 2 weeks from now. But I'll definitely review that. So, huge stan of Holo Taco. I love a brand that makes different types of things because I don't have any one thing that's my favorite. I like cremes, I like glitters, I like holos, I love everything. I just love variety. So Holo Taco runs from here, this row right here, and this whole thing, that's all Holo Taco as well. And then it ends right here. I have a lot of space for Holo Taco because I do buy from them most of the collections that they have. It depends on what it is, but I buy from them throughout the year. So I try to leave a lot of open space for Holo Taco. Now, usually I do like to separate out light to dark, cremes, toppers, effects polishes, but because I buy from Holo Taco so much, it does get a bit tedious to have to go in there and redistribute everything. So as you can see, this right here is the last couple of collections. They ain't in order. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I feel like putting them in order. So I might just break it out by collection. But when you are a nail blogger, lover, collector, creator, space is the one thing that you're always running out of. So I always have to get pretty creative at how I still store my nail polish. So you can see I store a lot of these at an angle because I can fit more nail polish in that way than if I just stored them flat, and I can still see all of them as well. So that is Holo Taco. We're moving on. All right, next up we have Best in Color. So I don't know if this brand is still around. The last time I checked, which is at least a couple years ago, they had stopped selling like individual polishes and they had switched everything over to wholesale. They didn't have a really big inventory, but I liked their cremes, so I feel like I got most of what they had. And if they're still around, I don't know if they sell individually, but this is Best in Color. All right after Best in Color is Dimension Nails. What I love about this brand is they use like a lot of animal names. That's not a good example, but they use this one's supposed to say wallaby, but they use a lot of animal names. And I think the owner, I know she's a woman. I'm pretty sure she's vegan or vegetarian. She has a love for animals. I really like their story. They also make, hands down, some of the best cremes in the business. As you can see, most of what I have is cremes from them. They do some other types of polishes in terms of finishes, but I would say that most of what they make is cremes. They used to make gel polish too, but I think maybe like a year or so ago, they sort of phased out their gel line because it just wasn't as popular as their main nail polish. Like I said, they make some of the best cremes in the business, like fully opaque in one coat. If you've never heard of them, check them out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. But this is all Dimension Nails. Zoom out a bit. So that is all Dimension Nails. And that is the second row. Moving on to this last row right here, and I will meet you over there. All right, so we are picking up the last row in this side of the wall. So we have Ice Cream Nails, and I absolutely love their bottles. It is an upside down ice cream cone. So they have some really fun bottles. And I have a huge inventory for Ice Cream Nails. So they are, as far as I understand, they're an Australian-based company, but they do have a U.S. A U.S. manufacturer. Sorry, I couldn't think of what I was trying to say. But they sell in the US, and usually you can get free shipping, like $50. They tend to have sales a lot. So if you've never heard of this brand, you can usually always catch a good sale running with them. And they have a huge inventory. Their bottles are fun. Plus they make another formula, which I'll show you in just a second. But this is Ice Cream Nails. It's this whole thing right here. And then it picks up over here. So this is their plus formula. If I'm being fully honest, I don't remember what the difference is offhand. It does come in a different bottle, but I think maybe it has it's a creamier formula or something like that. So yeah, this is still Ice Cream Nails. This is just their plus formula. All right, we are moving down to that beneath it. So we've got Lights Lacquer. So Lights Lacquer changed their bottle, but this is Lights Lacquer. And then these are their new bottles. I'm quite a fan of the new bottles. I just really like I just really like this square rectangle shape for nail polish bottles. I think it's because it's a different juxtaposition from like the normal circular bottle. Maybe that's why I like it so much. So we have Lights Lacquer starting at the bottom, and then they finish up over here. So this whole thing is Lights Lacquer. I have a really big empty space here, and that could be for anything. That's not necessarily if I expand Lights Lacquer. I may or may not, haven't decided. Haven't decided. I just like to leave some empty space because I do buy nail polish throughout the year, albeit I buy a lot less than I used to, but still want to have some empty space for something to display on the wall. Okay, we're moving on to Cuticolor right here. So I cannot remember how I got into this brand. I think it was because they do polishes for Hella Handmade Creations, as well as like Polish Pickup. So I think I got into them from something like that. And anytime I buy from like Hella Handmade Creations, Polish Pickup, Polish Gamers Box, if I like the brand and I've bought from or purchased from them a couple of times, I always just go to see if they have their own website. Cuticolor does have their own website, and they have lots of great polishes. So Cuticolor goes here, and then they also take up, let me zoom out, they take up these 3 rows right here. So there's a lot of fun polishes going over there with Cuticolor. All right, so right after Cuticolor, we have a really small indie brand called Camo Colors Lacquers. They have some really fun things in here, but they are a very small brand, so I don't think they have a lot of SKUs. So I only have like these 7 or 8 from them, but I do like them quite a bit, with the one I just picked up being probably my favorite, and this pink one being really good too. So moving on to the row beneath that, we have Rogue Lacquer. Again, this is another indie brand, but they do have their own website. I don't know if it's Rogue or Rouge. I think it's Rogue. It's spelled see if you can see it, R-O-G-U-E. So I think that's Rogue Lacquer. So I have Rogue Lacquer going from here, and they pick up at the top right there before we go into another brand. I think this one speaks to my soul. It's like a topper, and I know I got this from like Polish Pickup or something like that. So a really fire topper. So right after Rogue Lacquer, we have Potion Polish. Man, I have so many in Potion Polish that I love so much that I wear. Like this spiced cider, I think that's the name of it. Smoky Maple Chai, that's not the name. I don't know. I think they have one called Spiced Cider, but I just think some of the ones they make are so dynamic. Like the colors they choose, like this one, even though it's red, it's flaky. It's just really pretty. So they have a lot. This is like a reflective glitter fall collection from them, which was really nice as well. So as you can see, Potion Polish starts right here. So they go from here, this row, that row, and they finish up right here. Also, apologies if you hear my AC unit. It's a necessity. I live in Virginia and it is hot. So even though I have blackout shades, the AC has to be on, so it cycles on and off. Sorry if it's loud, I apologize for that. Okay, so next up we have Colors de Carol. So, gosh, I'm trying to remember how I got into Colors de Carol. I don't remember, but I enjoy this brand quite a bit. I think they've been around for a really long time, so I don't want to say that they're an indie brand because they have a lot of great SKUs on their website. So I buy from them periodically. I feel like the only brand that I really do follow pretty consistently is Holo Taco. I am subscribed. I do follow like all the brands that have their own website, but it's still hard to keep track of like who launches because brands launch all the time, so I don't always catch them, but I like to check in with brands just to see if there's anything I'm interested in. But this is Colors de Carol, goes here, and this is all Colors de Carol. They had a couple collections that I have in full. They have like a reflective glitter collection, which is awesome. They have this cool like dark linear collection, which is great. I love a good linear holo. And they have a red, which is my favorite. There's 2 reds in here that I love. They're different but similar. So this one is The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight, and then you have Slappy's Tie, which is like a darker red. Sorry, I'm trying to hold them. So I love both of these red, but I think Slappy's Tie is like my favorite because it's a little bit darker. But I love reds. All right, so that was the entire bottom row that we just did right there. And we are moving on to the next wall, which is over here. I'll meet you over there. Okay, so we are picking up at the top. It's probably going to be really loud because the AC unit is right there. So it's probably going to be super loud. Sorry about that. So we're picking up right here with Super Chic Lacquer. Oh, I love this brand so much. I feel like most of what I have for them is like linear hollows, but I don't think you're gonna have too many of those. So most of this is Super Chic. So all these rows down to about right there is Super Chic Lacquer. Next up we have Emily Damali, which is right here. So I know for a fact that I got into this brand definitely through like Hella Handmade Creations or something like that. And I think I checked it out just to see if they had a website. They did, and they had like this reflective glitter collection that I wanted because I was super into reflective glitters. I still am, but I was like kind of obsessed with it at the time. So these are all reflective glitters. I just love a good reflective glitter. Hopefully there's enough light going on where you can see it. I think it shows really well. So this is Emily Damali. So I don't have a ton. I think I have a couple more Emily Damali. I used to have like a miscellaneous section. I moved it from the wall, so I still have it. It's just in my drawer. So I probably have a couple more somewhere out there. All right, picking up right after that is going to be Night Owl Lacquer. Same thing. I'm pretty sure I got like a polish from them from like Super Chic. Sorry, from like Hella Handmade Creations or something. And they have their own website. So they had a ton of stuff, and I think I picked it up during a sale. And yeah, I really dig this brand quite a bit. So this is all Night Owl Lacquer. All right, moving on to beneath that, the second row right here. So right after Mooncat, we have Moonshine Lacquer. I would say they definitely have one of the more unique bottles. I think it's a unique size bottle, which I like that. I think it's pretty hard to be unique with bottles these days for nail polish, but I like their bottles. So you've got Moonshine Lacquer. Editing Diamond here. So I lost my footage for Mooncat. I don't even know how, but so this is Mooncat Lacquer right here. So the brand was originally called Live Love Polish, and they rebranded as Mooncat. It's probably been a couple years since they actually rebranded. They changed the bottles. I actually really like the rebrand bottles. So the bottles are bigger, they have bigger handles. So yeah, this is Mooncat. So I'm sorry, I don't know how, but I lost the footage. But this is Mooncat Lacquer right here. And then the one that picks after, I think I said Moonshine Lacquer, it's Moonshine Manny. So that's the brand underneath it. Okay, moving on. And that's all of the nail polish that's on this wall. So we're gonna be shifting to this wall. Once I shine some light on it, I'll meet you over there. So I'm not gonna be able to get in too close to this because I have a lot of stuff in front of here that's just not feasible for me to move out of the way. So I'm just gonna zoom in. At the top, we have Cirque Colors. I definitely got into Cirque Colors specifically from Christine. I think she was swatching like a couple different brands, and there were several that I'd never heard of. So I remember just going to check out their website and really liking the brand. So this is Cirque Colors. Next up, we have Glam Polish, which is one of my favorites. The only thing that I've never seen them make is cremes. They do pretty much everything else. They do hollows, they do glitters, they do multi-chromes, and I have a pretty impressive pink collection for them. You can see that that's all my pinks from them right there. But you can see these are all my pinks from them right here. So this is Glam Polish, these whole 3 rows. And again, I've gotten pretty creative about storing them. They're basically stored at diagonal. That's what I do with all the bottles like this. It maximizes the space on this type of shelving. Alrighty then, moving on to this one right here, which is Fun Lacquer. I really do love this brand, but in the beginning when I got into them, which was through Simply Nailogical, they still are a Singapore-based brand. So at the time, they didn't do any free shipping to the States. And a brand that doesn't have like an American manufacturer, shipping is pretty expensive for this brand. Well, I should say that it was. I think now they do free shipping to the States over $160, which is a lot of money. So shipping is still pretty expensive, which I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot of money. So if you didn't want to spend that much, shipping can be really expensive, like $20 or $30. And then on top of that, like the bottles themselves are a little bit more on the expensive side. So usually I don't buy from Fun Lacquer more than like $1 once a year or once every couple of years. And they don't launch as many collections, at least not from what I've seen. So for me, this is okay. I can pick up what they have throughout the year. They do some things every year. Like every year they'll do like a holiday collection. And I think every year they do like a summer collection. They also do like gel alternatives, and they do like hollow powders too. So there's definitely some really good variety with this brand. It may be more fruitful for you to buy from them if you live outside of the States, because maybe the shipping is like less expensive for you, or it's less expensive in terms of like what the threshold is. For me, this is still kind of expensive to buy from them. So like, I know I have a lot here, but this is like for me buying like 1 or 2 times over the 5 or 7 years that I've been collecting. So I don't buy from them a lot for that reason, but I do really like this brand. So that is all Fun Lacquer all right here. There's a couple over here before we pick up with the next brand. Okay, so next up we have OPI, which is the GOAT. It's a standard when you go get your nails done. A lot of brands have OPI, which is it's not a problem. Like OPI makes good polish. I tend to like to buy from their website directly or from Amazon, just because when you buy in store, I find that like Walmart or drugstores, they only tend to stock like these colors, or they stock the pinks and the red. They don't stock a lot of the yellows or the greens or the blue. You don't get a lot of those colors. So, you know, I tend to like to buy online, but this is OPI. Okay, next up is the drawers in my room. So I will meet you down the hallway. Okay, so we're picking up in my room. This is my 9-drawer IKEA nail drawer. Most of this is nail polish, and then like the last couple bins are like nail supplies. All right, starting with the first drawer. This entire drawer is Zoya. So if you're not familiar, Zoya, I'm trying to think. I don't think Zoya sells them in store, but I think they've have like some of their own stores. Maybe, I know, I can't think about it, but they are definitely at the lower spectrum in terms of price. These are normally like $10 to $12 a bottle. They also do a ton of sales. So first of all, their website is huge. They have like something between like 300 to 400 different SKUs of nail polish. So if you've never bought from them, pace yourself, because it is easy to go ham and want everything. But they also have really good sales. I've caught like sales when they're 70% off. I've caught like buy 2 get 5 free or something like that, but they tend to have really good sales. So if you've never tried Zoya, I highly recommend, you know, scoping them out, check them out when they have a good sale, and get yourself a few bottles. I have everything. Now, when I put my nail polish in drawers, it does kind of hurt my heart because I just don't reach for it as much as I do the stuff on the wall, but I don't have the drawer color coded out, and I usually just kind of go in here and see if there's anything I want to wear. So this is Zoya. Okay, also wanted to mention they make one of my favorite nail polish removers, cleaners, nail preps. This one right here. I re-up this a few times a year. I usually get like 3 or 4 bottles at a time because I love it, and it's the only one that I use. Okay, moving on to the second drawer. Okay, this is a little bit of a compilation drawer, so it's not like one specific brand in this drawer. So we've got some Color Club. That you can buy, you know, from like, so you can buy Color Club from, you know, Walmart. They also have their own website, so you can always buy from their website. So what else is in here? We've got Great Lakes Lacquer, and we've got Poetry Cowgirl. Those are some indie brands that I found along the way. Wildflower Lacquer. Let's see what else is in here. Jen and Berries. I like Jen and Berries. Native War Paints. Trying to see if there's any other brands. Black Girl Nail Polish, obviously a Black-owned brand. So yeah, someday later on down the line, I would love to get a house, and I would love to get some professional shelving made. I don't think I would want like shelves that are permanently affixed to the wall, because if I'm paying money for it, I kind of want to take it with me, if I'm being honest. But I would like to get some professional shelving made, and I would like to be able to display like all my nail polish on the wall, have an entire nail room. Okay, next drawer. So this is another sort of compilation drawer. So we've got the Nail Bazaar, which is a brand, indie brand. We have nailed it. I definitely remember getting this from like one of those Hella Handmade Creations, something like that. We've got Floss Sauce, I think. Sorry, the camera's not floating. Let me see. No, it's Femme Fatale. I don't know where I got Floss Sauce. I do have another one called Floss Sauce. I don't know where it is, though. We've got Schlee Polish. That's another indie brand. Cupcake Polish. What else we got? Salon Perfect, which is basically like I think it's the American version of China Glaze. The bottles are slightly different, but I'm pretty sure it's the same formula. But this is something they sell in stores. You know, the weird thing, at least the last time I checked their website, is that you couldn't buy anything on the China Glaze Salon Perfect website. It was basically just a website being like, yeah, we sell these colors and here's where you can buy them. But in my mind, I'm like, why can't you just sell them on your website? Because what if I can't find them in stores? So it's just interesting. But maybe that has changed. I don't know. I haven't checked it out in a while. So we got Glisten and Glow. I'm trying to think, is there anything else back here? That's basically the gist of this drawer. And again, I do sort of shuffle it out. Sometimes I'll bring one of these from here onto the wall, but I tend to try and keep the ones that I use or buy from the most on the wall, and then I do try to make a conscious effort to go in my drawers. But naturally, I don't reach for the nail polish in my drawers, which is a big reason why I don't like storing nail polish in drawers. But, you know, as I mentioned before, when you're a nail blogger, lover, creator, collector, space is the enemy. It's that thing you're always running out of, and yeah, it is what it is. So this drawer has a lot of stuff in it. We've got Pampered polishes. We've got tonic polish. Speaking of tonic polish, if anybody knows what happened to Tonic, please let me know in the comments. This was sort of like an indie brand, and I swear they still have an Instagram. They did last time I checked, but they just disappeared. Their website is one of those websites where it's only open like when they're selling. So it just says that they'll be back, and they didn't make an update on their post. They just disappeared. And I actually really liked this brand. Like, these are all tonic polishes, but I don't know what happened to them. It just racks my brain because I can't find out any information about them. So if anybody knows what happened to tonic polish, let me know in the comments. I would be very interested. So this is Girly Bits. Some of these brands... So some of the brands that I like to, or websites that I like to buy from, what I like about them is they have some brands that they don't sell, like the brand doesn't sell directly to US for whatever reason, but you can buy them on these sort of like conglomerate websites, which is like where Girly Bits is. So I don't know if Girly Bits themselves has their own website, but I know there's another brand in here. Maybe it's called Art is Nails. They don't sell in the US, but they do sell like on What's Nails or What's Up Nails or something like that. So yeah, I kind of like that because you can't always get them in the States. There's another brand, I'm trying to think of it. I'm pretty sure it's called A England. I have like 5 or 6 bottles from them, and I really like them, but they don't sell in the States on their website, so I can't buy from their website directly. And like the stock that they have on like their third-party brand website, it's usually just like, 5-10 polishes max. So, that bums me out, but I get it. So let's see what else we have in here. We've got Polished for Days. We've got Danny Vianney. We've got a lot of miscellaneous ones in here. I think this is all tonic on this side. Yeah, so I think that's all the brands that are in here. Oh, Bluebird. I like this brand a lot. They're definitely a smaller indie brand. I've been to their website, but they don't have a ton of SKUs up there. But I used to buy from like Polish Pickup and Hella Handmade Creations. I wouldn't say that I do those very often. It's just because, you can't buy everything. But this is like one of my favorite reds. It's such a pretty like linear red. And they have another one too. I must have put it somewhere else because I don't see it. But oh, here's the other one. It's black. It's so pretty. Okay. So this drawer is always, this drawer is also a compilation. So we've got some Lemming Lacquer. I think this is Brooklyn Polish. Yeah, I was right. Brooklyn Polish. This is a Black-owned female brand. I feel like most of these brands are owned by women, except for like something like OPI. I'm sure that's owned by a man, probably. And then some of these are miscellaneous, but this is the one that I was mentioning are as nails. They're really nice. What else do we have in here? We've got, this is still Living Lacquer. This is Dam Polish. Oh, I love Dam Polish. And we just got some miscellaneous ones in here. And that's more Brooklyn polish. All right, moving on to the next drawer. Sorry, I think this drawer is a little broke. Gonna have to fix it. But this is definitely ILNP. So I'm a huge fan of ILNP. If you don't know, that stands for I Love Nail Polish. So they're another brand that they're pretty reasonable. I'd say they're like $10 to $12 a bottle, but they have a ton of SKUs. They might even rival Zoya for how many like different nail polishes you can buy from them. So if you've never bought from ILNP, pace yourself. It is very easy to just be like, I want all this, to add it to your wish list. Then you got like $500 for like 50 polishes, which is pretty good, if I'm being honest, but still, that's a lot. So I have a lot from ILNP. They release quite frequently, but I like their collections. I usually don't buy from them more than a couple times a year, not because I don't like them, it's just because I can't keep up with everything and I can't buy everything. But this is ILNP. Let me see if I can guess this one before I pull it out. I can't think of it. Oh, Polish. I should have known Polish. Yeah, so Polish is like an indie brand, and I definitely I got exposed to them from like Hella Handmade Creations. I know I've mentioned that a lot, but it's a really good place to get exposed to lots of different indie brands. And a lot of those brands do have their own website, Polish included. And something that I really like about a lot of the indie brands is that you almost kind of get this bespoke feeling about it because they don't keep everything in their inventory all the time. So when it comes to Polish, I don't think they make this color anymore. So like for instance, they may drop a collection and then they'll keep it on their website until it sells out, and then they don't make any more of those bottles. So I really like that aspect of like indie brands. You know, you get something that's really bespoke, they don't make it anymore. And because I have so much nail polish, it's really hard for me to go through any singular bottle of nail polish. So I like that about indie brands. I like that you can pick up something and then they won't make it, and you're like, oh, I got a treat. I got something they don't make anymore. I don't know if everybody likes that, but I like that. I like the idea of having something that's like unique and special. What else do we have in here? Oh, we got Pinnacle Polish. I'm trying to think. I think this is ILNP Polish and probably just Pinnacle Polish. I don't think there's anything else in the back. No. All right, I got to try and fix this drawer. Hang on a sec before I meet you at the next one. Okay, managed to fix that one. So this is the last drawer, and then I just have a couple more bins and that's it. So this is Different Dimensions. It hurt my heart to take Different Dimensions off the wall, but I still really love this brand. They make a lot of different things, and it's not hard for me to differentiate them from Dimension Nails, even though they both have dimension in the word, because Dimension Nails is a different bottle, and they make mostly cremes, whereas I don't think I've ever seen a creme from Different Dimensions. They do mainly effects polishes. All right, what else we got in here? I can see some Salon Perfect by the one on the top. I think we got some Orly. Yes. You know the great thing about Orly? They give you some big bottles. These are some of the biggest nail polish bottles in the game. Like the millimeters. Why won't it zoom in? The amount of space you get in here, like the amount of nail polish you get, is crazy. And Orly is definitely up there with like Zoya and KB Shimmer. They're like $10 a bottle. Actually, they may be like $8 to $10 a bottle, so they're a little bit cheaper. I like Orly quite a bit. They make a couple different formulas, but I just like to keep it simple. I just want the normal formula, whatever is the normal formula. We also have Black Dahlia lacquer here at the back. And I'm probably sure I've got some China Glaze mixed in. So this is, I'll show you them next to each other. This is Salon Perfect, and this is China Glaze. These are owned by the same company, and this is the American version, and this is like the, I think it's the Canadian version. The bottles are slightly different. I think I like the China Glaze bottles more. I guess I'm just wondering, why do you need two separate brands to sell? This is probably the same product. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the same nail polish. It's just a different bottle and a different name. I don't know why you need that for America. I mean, we'd still buy it if it was China Glaze. This brand, I'd say, is pretty hard to buy from, like I mentioned before. Unless something changed, their website, you could not buy from it. You could only like look at the nail polish and they could tell you where you could get it. But the problem is, like, a lot of times when it comes to buying nail polish from like Walmart or Target, they tend to sell like the same colors: blush, red, pink, and that's usually the family they live in. So I think I've managed to get these from like third-party websites that have like a very limited amount of stock, but they have a bigger stock than like Walmart or something like that. But I haven't bought from them in a while, and they're like a drugstore brand. Okay, I got 2 more bins and that's it. Okay, so this is the rest of Dimension nails. It just won't fit in the drawer unless I just throw it on top of each other, which I just don't want to do. So it's the rest of Dimension nails. Got 1 more bin. Okay, and this is Live Love Polish. So this is the original brand from Mooncat. This is what they originally looked like. And then they rebranded as Mooncat. So these bottles are definitely a lot smaller. I do like the rebrand bottles. Clearly, I have a big fan of Mooncat. This is Live Love Polish. It's the same brand, it's just a different name. But yeah, this is the whole thing for them. They have a lot of fun polishes in here too. So again, I would love to get to a point where I can display all my nail polish on the wall. Welp, that is all, folks. That is my entire nail polish collection. I haven't counted in a minute. It's probably been a year since I counted. I usually count a couple times a year, but I definitely say I have about 3,500 bottles of nail polish at this point. I don't buy as much as I used to. Probably within a year, I probably add to my collection 100, 120 bottles, something like that. Maybe even less depending on the year. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, how many bottles of nail polish do you have? Or do you have anything that you like to collect that you have a lot of that people might think you're crazy for? I know I have quite a bit of nail polish, but it just makes me happy. I love to paint my nails. Outside of swatching, I paint my nails minimum twice a week, sometimes more. Sometimes I change my nails every day, but I gotta be in the mood to do that. Well, that's my time. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you later. Bye.